Namaskar. One more story from Tenali Rama's treasure, and the title is Proof of Innocence. Let us see what is there in the story. The courtiers in King Krishna Dev Rai's court were jealous of Tenali Rama's popularity. They were plotting all the time to get even with him. One day, a jealous courtier said to the king, "Your Majesty, I have something important to tell you." "Yes, tell me what it is," the king encouraged the courtier. "Your Majesty," the courtier continued, "Your Majesty, I have heard that Tenali Rama has turned corrupt. In the past few weeks, he has accumulated a lot of wealth by taking bribes from people. He threatens everyone with dire consequences. So, no one dares to complain against him." The king spoke in anger. "What rubbish are you talking? Tenali Rama? Corrupt? Dishonest? A bully? No, I cannot believe you." King Krishna Dev Rai knew that the courtier was trying to poison his mind against Tenali Rama, so he paid no heed to him. But the courtier insisted. In fact, for nearly 2 or 3 weeks, the courtier repeated such words before the king every day. After some days, the king thought, "This man has been speaking against Tenali so vehemently. What if there is some truth in what he is saying? If he is speaking the truth, then I would be unjust to the people of my kingdom. I must not show favors to Tenali in such a way. I must inquire about this piece of information." Next day, in the royal court, when Tenali Rama arrived, King Krishna Dev Rai asked directly, "Tenali, I have received several complaints against you in the past few weeks. You have been asking people for bribes and threatening people not to tell me about this. How can you be so dishonest?" Tenali Rama was shocked to hear such false accusations against him. He tried to convince the king. "Your Majesty, I do not believe that you have been convinced by such reports. You know that I'd rather die than be unjust or be a liar." But the king said, "I insist that you provide me with proof of your innocence and honesty. If you cannot do so, then you will have to resign from your seat in the royal court." Tenali Rama felt very hurt and insulted by the king's words. He left the royal court silently. The next day, as the royal court session was about to begin, Tenali's servant entered. His eyes were filled with tears. He held a letter in his hand which he handed over to a minister. The minister read the letter and had tears in his eyes. All the courtiers were curious to know the contents of the letter. The minister gave the letter to King Krishna Dev Rai. The king read the letter aloud. It said, "Your Majesty, I humbly bow to you. I have served the royal court for many years now. I am very sad to know that you have not understood what kind of person I am, even after such a long association. After such humiliating accusation, I cannot prove my honesty in any other way but by ending my life. Here is my last goodbye. I pray to God for your Majesty's long life and Vijayanagar's prosperity." King Krishna Dev Rai and all the courtiers also started shedding tears after reading the letter. One of Tenali Rama's supporters stood up and said, "Your Majesty, Tenali Rama was a learned scholar and a great wit. We were wrong to treat him like this. No one in this world can ever take his place." "Yes, you are absolutely right," the king agreed. "Now that he is no longer with us, we must all keep a moment of silence in his memory." After a moment's silence, a courtier got up and with tears in eyes, he started praising Tenali Rama. After he had finished, another got up and then the next one. So everyone talked about how intelligent, witty, honest, truthful, and just Tenali Rama was. A while later, a man wearing rather simple clothes and having beard got up and said, "Long live the king! Today, not only you, but even the jealous courtiers are praising me. Your words are the proof of my innocence and honesty. What more do I need to convince you of my honesty?" With this, he took off his beard and simple clothes, and there stood Tenali Rama in his usual clothes. The courtiers who had instigated the king turned pale with shock and fear. On the other hand, his admirers and the king were overjoyed to see Tenali Rama hale and hearty and alive before their eyes. King Krishnadev Roy's face brightened up. He laughed loudly and said, "Tenali, no one can defeat you in intelligence. You have proved that you are innocent and honest, and you had it announced by those who do not like you even a bit. You are simply great, Tenali." The king looked around and saw that all the jealous courtiers had hung their heads in shame. So, let us not unnecessarily be jealous of someone. Let us not try to let down someone. Let us use our wit, our intelligence, our humor, our innocence. So, before doubting anyone, let us look at our own selves. Be honest, be kind, be truthful, not only to others, but of course for yourself also. And as Tenali had a creative solution, so that you can also have a creative solution. That is, I think, is the intent of the story. I'm sure you liked the story. And to make this story interesting, Manojji has helped me, and I am Kamaljeet Yadav. Thank you very much.